Good morning, YouTube. We're here to talk about the steel frame PDP that I have been shooting. Now, I'd say I'm at the point with this thing where I feel like I'm struggling a lot. Now, there's usually a point like this when I'm shooting a new gun, and to me, this feels different enough to the plastic PDPs that I have more experience with. It might as well be a new gun. Okay, so there comes a point when I'm shooting a new gun. So it's like, I don't know. It starts out where, I feel it, pull the trigger a little bit. Oh, okay, nice trigger. Okay, the gun's printing right where I put the sights and all that. But it feels a little bit unfamiliar to me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get it a little bit with a little bit of practice. Now, I've gotten a new rig, got a carry concealment holster that's a new version of their stuff that's coming. You guys will see it on the channel eventually. I just can't show it yet. So anyway, got the belt, the holster, all the stuff. Started really kind of training and I went out today and I trained with some guys that they're very serious. They're headed out to Area 2. So, they're all tuned up. They want to do really, really well. So we were shooting scenario stuff this morning, and I'm at the point now with this gun where it's like, man, I feel like I'm struggling. So usually I feel like confidence when I get a new gun, and then as I train with it, I start to feel like I'm struggling, and then it comes back in and I start feeling confident again. And I think the reason is I have all these expectations for what I should be able to do with the gun. And then when I start trying to do those things, like it feels a little bit different. It feels a little weird, and I feel like I'm struggling. And then I actually get used to the gun, and then it kind of comes back around. Well, I'm in the dip right now where I feel like, man, I'm struggling, and it's the same issues that I was struggling with before, but now I just keep seeing it in real time. So let's talk through it. First, I don't like the way this gun is sprung from the factory. I just don't like it. I think the recoil spring's too heavy. So put in a ZR Tactical guide rod and new spring, a 15-pound spring, and I would say it made a noticeable difference, and I like the feel of it better. Now, do I like the feel of the reciprocation compared to a Glock 47? No. But do I like it noticeably better than what it was? Yes, I do. Now, will I keep changing springs or keep messing with it? Possibly, but as the gun sits now, it's very shootable as long as I do what I'm supposed to do. The other thing that has been a struggle is the grip. I feel like it's difficult for me to maintain a connection to the gun just because the grip's a little bit more rounded. So if I don't get on it exactly on the right spot, I feel like the gun wants to come off my hand. Right now, has that changed? No, but I'm going to train with the gun this way a little bit and then maybe change grips. Like Lock has some aftermarket stuff that'll work, or maybe just add grip tape, which would also solve the problem for me, in my opinion. The gun itself, how's it been running? Well, there was one issue today. It was like this. It didn't quite want to go into battery. When I was shooting strong-handed, I kind of limp wristed the gun a little bit. It didn't want to go into battery. Again, I lightened the recoil spring. The gun's dirty at this point. I will chalk that one. I think that's something that I did, let's say, like between the modification and how dirty the gun is. But we'll see. I'll give it some time. I think this gun runs pretty good, but like I said, I did it have a malfunction today that I'm pretty sure I induced. Aside from that, no other issues. Um, Yeah, like my subjective impression of the gun, I think is more interesting than like how I think the gun performs in terms of numbers. And like today, I just felt like I was working harder than on some other gun that I'm more comfortable with. It was struggle bus every time I draw to get connected to the gun, and then I haven't been shooting a lot of heavier guns, so I haven't. Shit, I think this is the first time I've really seriously trained with a metal framed striker fired pistol. And it's like I felt like I was just dragging the gun all over the target due to the weight. So I would say the gun feels very cumbersome to me right now. Like I have to be very careful when I connect to it, and I have to be careful as I transition it around. Again, that's just like a subjective impression. I think as I spend more time with the gun, I'm going to get more used to it, and my opinion is going to shift, and I'm going to get a lot more comfortable with it. But man, I have to be honest, like today did feel a little bit like the struggle bus with the gun. Now let's go through some of your comments from the last PDP video, see what you guys have to say about these things. All right, here's a good comment. I've got the SF Match and the Pro X. They're both amazing. I've played with springs and dialed them both in. I put a long stroke 15 pound in the SF, the steel frame. I swapped down to a 17 pound in the Pro X. Yeah, so I have shot that long stroke thing before, and I really didn't like it. The way that I'm feeling about this gun, I might like to try that long stroke in this gun. I think I would potentially like it better in the steel frame guns than in the plastic frame guns. So I'm considering getting that. Okay. See what else we got here. PDP nerd here. 30,000 rounds on my SD Pro, 20,000 on my Pro E. The 15-pound recoil spring by ZR Tactical is great. Yeah, that's what I have here. Makes a big difference. And honestly, I do not like shooting my PDPs without it. Yep. I've tried. Most of them do not like the long stroke, but it's also fine. That's been my experience with the long stroke, by the way. I also don't really like it. But I may like it with this gun. It's just different enough to annoy me. Yeah, I put an HA micro comp on the SD Pro, and honestly, at first I loved it. Then I went back and forth between comped and non-comped, and that annoys me. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So these are the type of modifications that people end up playing with on these guns. The other thing I got was some magazines with the ZR Tactical base pads on them and a different spring. They fit the mag well fine, better than the factory option, I would say, as far as, you know, giving you something to grab onto here. So those magazines, I put them right in the mix and no problems with them. So I do like that, and I like the recoil spring I have. I run the 5-inch steel frame match. I feel like silicone carbiding the stock grips is the best. Yeah, that's tempting. It makes it just the right amount of girth and texture for my hands, especially coming from Glock. Yes. I distinctly remember hearing Joel say not to stretch a trigger spring. That was just 2 days ago. Where this commenter got this from, I don't know. Okay, that's good. So there was some discussion on a previous video about stretching out the trigger return springs on these things. That to me seems like sort of a dumb idea. What I want is that after the gun's fired, you know, the trigger has that aggressive reset where it's like pushing my finger back forward a little bit. I like that feeling. Some people don't like that, but I like a real positive reset. Let's see what else we got here. I like the PDP, but only the steel frame. I much prefer my Glock M&P and Epsilon in that order. Okay. I mean, fair enough. People are going to have different preferences. PDP detractors need to accept the PDP master race and jump on the bandwagon. Steel frame aside, the polymer guns are the best of the box striker guns on the planet, period. Steel feels slightly softer at a significant price increase. Yeah, I mean, the fact is with the PDPs, like you can get them the way you want to get them, the length of the gun, you know, the trigger. Do you want the normal one or you want the dynamic performance? You know, blah, blah. You can kind of get it the way you want to get it. Do I think the steel frame is like worth the money for most people? Well, no, it's not. It's not a substantial enough change to the dynamics of the gun for, you know, for what, double the price? For most people, they wouldn't be interested in. But, you know, some people, it makes sense for that. Man, I love my match steel frame. I have a 5-inch poly and Parker Mountain machine slide as well. The steel frame is such a joy to shoot. I've found myself shooting as much as I shoot my carry gun. Well, that's good. Yeah, some good feedback on these. People like these guns. All right, what happened to the M&P? The M&P is at Apex right now, so it's getting a new barrel, and I think they're going to make the trigger lighter. If it gets, it's either getting mailed back to me or I'm going to go pick it up. I don't know. I'll have it back in my hands eventually, and that gun is going to shift to Arizona here, so I'll have it for the winter to shoot it. So the M&P, like, is now being modified, and I'll have it here. I've got the PDPs here, and next week I'm shifting my Glock with the Trigger Tech Ace with that one. That's going to shift here as well. So I should get a good side-by-side of all three if you're curious about what's happening there. So don't worry, man. Be patient. It's coming. Newer here, I've never seen a plug for a Glock that did anything more useful than have a punch on it and use on the gun or the lanyard loop. What am I missing about its plug? Oh, it's awesome is what you're missing. So this brass plug here in the Glock 47s, I mean, I love these things. Um, it just, for one, it solves this little plastic lip here where the mags can hang up. And now you'll see it just serves as a little funnel for the magazines. So that's pretty sweet. And it adds a couple ounces of weight in kind of just the right place, in my opinion. I feel like I really like the balance of the gun. Uh, the extra couple ounces isn't a big deal as far as additional weight, but it just improves the balance of the gun. Yeah. Anyway, guys, the PDP is in progress. The M&P is coming. The race Glock is coming here. Going to be shooting a lot this winter. I can just feel it.